One of the best aspects of WRTI is how easy it is to use. Just go to the website, westerntraining.org, and staff members or volunteers can access it from home, or we can also access it through the center. Let's take a look. Let me walk you through the website. Once you get to the website, westerntraining.org, as you can see, there are two login options, one for new users, one for existing users. With dual logons, restrict access to people that were affiliated with one of the centers. The curriculum belonged to both PCADV and PCAR. New users are added by an administrator, so each center has one or two administrators. A new user would log in under the new user registration, put in their email. The system will either recognize their email and allow them to log in or not recognize them and restrict the access. For existing users, they're adding their email and their password. If someone forgets their password, the administrator at the center can access that for them and reset the password. Because I'm an existing user, I'm going to start off at the menu page. If I were a new user, I would have to go through a registration process that would record what center I was affiliated, my knowledge of the current law in Pennsylvania for domestic violence and sexual assault, and also some pre-tests, some of the topic areas. As an administrator, I have an administrative page I can log on to. If I want to add a user, I'm just going to type in their email address here, click on add a user, and that way when the person tries to log on to the site, we'll recognize them as a user and allow them to go on. I can also, as an administrator, reset the password in case someone has lost their password, deactivate a user if someone's no longer affiliated with the center, and also look at certificates. This is great because the staff members and the volunteers have to complete their 80 hours of training prior to working with anyone at any of the centers. And they also have to complete a number of hours of training each year to remain certified. As an administrator, I can log on, look at it, pull down any of the users. Now, because I'm a site administrator, I have access to everyone. An administrator from a center would only be able to access users from their particular center certificates. This user has completed the session 1 on history and philosophy, and so the user can print this out for their own files, and then the centers have a copy as well. Okay. Going back to the main menu, the internal operating procedures, all of the instructions for anyone from any of the centers, and also any of the handouts for the sessions. If people want to print them and save copies, they can do that as well. Looking at the menus, there are 16 different sessions. All of the participating centers contribute at least one session to the video library. Really easy to use. Looking at session 1, history. Before I am permitted to complete the session, I have to take a pretest. And so I'm looking at the history section, and the history session was actually the most used session this year. So going through, submitting. Now, in this case, because I have already completed this section, it's going to allow me to go on to the video. If I were a new user, and I could go back over and review that. So I'd go into the video section. So I'm looking at the first session. This is an introduction to the history session. As you can see, there aren't any handouts. If there were, I could click here, get the handouts for the session. We have it set up so that the user does have to watch the entire video before they can take the post-tests. Since I've already gone through this session and completed my certification, I can stop this at any time. I'm going to return to the menu, go back to the session. At the point that I finished the video, I would go to the post-test, which isn't showing up here because I've already completed it. So you see post-test completed, so I'm able to access my certificate. I can print that off, return it to either of the centers that I'm affiliated with, and then go back to the menu, log out, and our session is completed. So, as you can see, the website is really easy to use, which was what we were going for. Feedback that we've gotten back so far has been very positive. So we found the website to be user-friendly, fairly intuitive, and really lets people spend the time on what they should be doing. That's going back to the centers and helping victims.